Happy Halloween, everybody. I like my setup. I think I did pretty well with it. There's dusty old songs in the corner there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, sometimes the cuz some of the candles that I have glowing right now, um they tend to look a little bit better when they're behind something. So like if you look at Jack, you can see kind of the bluish aura behind him. And I went through the color scheme and I was like, I don't know which one is going to actually work. And, oh, don't you worry about these little guys. Just a couple extra friends I have here on the other side. Yeah, so I know that this is extremely late. Like this is like last minute. This whole month has just been like last minute of everything for me, and it has just been crazy. Just doing this whole thing. And yeah, and it's just been a thing. And yeah, like Halloween is always busy for a lot of people, and I completely understand that. But the spookiest thing, what has been the spookiest thing that has happened to me lately? And like, yeah, like I left this till the last minute. Like I just like sent out the story yesterday, and like gave nobody really any um uh, heads up about it. Like, so it's just been a crazy month, and for some people a lot more crazy than usual. So yeah, I have like no viewers right now. That's great. I mean, what more can I ask for? But anyways, I mean, I know that there are going to be people coming. People who show up. That's just basically how I take it now these days. um but yeah, my weekend's been good so far. I got some stuff done that I've been wanting to get done that I wasn't able to do for a while because just mentally I wasn't in the good mind space. Um, but other than that, October has been a ride. It's been a ride, and yeah, that's just basically what it has been. It's just been that. Work has been kicking my tail. Um, and stuff like that has just been crazy. So it's a thing, and I don't know, like for some reason I feel like my love of Halloween, not that it has started to dwindle, but rather so much that it's like people just aren't making an interest in it anymore. And I'm really sad about that, because it's like you go to the stores and you see nothing but Christmas decorations on the shelves, and it's just like, really? Like, even a couple of days ago, a couple of the neighbors, it's like they just put up their Halloween stuff. And I'm like, I've had mine up for at least like a week or more. So, but you want to know something really spooky? Is running out of coffee. That is the worst. If you're a coffee drinker, that is like the worst thing that you could do. But I made coffee specifically for this chat. So, I don't know where everybody is at the moment. Like, everybody is busy, so I'm sending out the link to people. I'm just sending it out. Um okay, so you said that you're in. Yes, accept. Um Paste. Send. There we go. Yeah, so for Halloween, I mean, I'm trying to think of like previous Halloweens that I actually had enjoyed doing. Um, I would have to say some of the Halloween parties I used to go to were actually pretty fun. Before I was bitten by a vampire and turned into a full vampire of the night, and I don't work well in the sun. I never have. It's kind of funny that way, that like even in the summertime, it's like, "You're so pale." And it's like, "Well, I don't deal with the sun because the minute that I go into the sun, I burn. So it's like I don't know, it's just a thing. Maybe I am a vampire. Who knows? Um, yeah. Halloween has always been one of my favorite holidays. Like it's one of those ones that's just not long enough, you know? Like just one day doesn't seem to be enough. So I just go for it as I seem feasible because it's just how it is. Um yeah, let me see. What has been like the most recent thing that has been happening for me? I mean, not a lot. I was supposed to go to a family event this weekend, but I graciously declined because I I just wasn't feeling up to it. Mentally, I was not feeling up to it. And I had just decided just not to go because there's not a lot for me to do with that. But that being said, I took some time to take care of myself, and I think I'm getting back into the grind here. Probably after this chat, I'm gonna do some cleaning in my room because it's getting really dusty in here. I mean, if you saw the dust, it would be ridiculous. Yeah. So, and I don't know if I talked about this in the last chat or not. I mean, I never go back and I never watch these, but I remember, I don't know if I told you guys about the snafu that I had getting this stinking CD. So I had ordered it right before it had come out, like on the day of when it was released. And then so I was like, okay, I'll order it and then I'll watch and I'll see, what happens. So it made it all the way to Canada from the US. And then all of a sudden I'm watching and then it's going backwards. And I'm like, what what is going on? So then I went back and I looked in the tracking and it was like, oh, recipient's address has not been verified. And I'm like, okay, but I'm like, I gave you guys my phone number. Like, you should probably call me and verify with me the address. But anyway, I mean, it didn't work. I guess there might have been something missing with the invoice. And so I messaged Jeff and I was like, buddy, it's coming back to you. It's not coming to me. It's coming back to you. And he's like, okay. He's like, that's fine. He's like, that's okay. Oh, I guess I should say hello in the chat. Folks. Boo. I'm sorry that you can hear the caps lock if you can hear it. But yeah. It is just but yeah, and now I got it. I'm happy. Yeah, Jeff was good natured about it. He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, we'll send you another one out. It's coming. It's all good. So I was happy, and I have listened to it, and it is super nice. And then the second one that I got from Voice Play is coming. So it's in Jamaica, New York. I think at the right at the moment. It's here. At least that's from what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing. Who the heck messaged me? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a whirlwind of a month, I would say. Um just for me. And like I think it's just because like it's getting colder and the weather's getting colder and people's attitudes at the end of a season change so very quickly, and it's just like, okay, is it just me, but does it look like my eyebrows look like bat wings? You see that? Or it looks like I have like a moth running from here and then the shadows. I just find that's hilarious. That's funny to me. That's really funny. Um and of course, like I have no idea what I'm gonna dress up for work on Wednesday. Like, I have absolutely no idea. Like, last year, I went as Jack Skellington, so it's like, how in the hell do I top that? I mean, there is there is a a very messed up zombie look that I could go for Thriller. But I don't want to scare a whole bunch of 90-year-olds. I mean, I'm telling you, like last year was like the thing. I was getting a lot of compliments, but I was also getting like a whole lot of, "Oh my god." Like that is just ridiculous. And it's like, well, that's about as landish as I get. And that face paint, oh, ugh. I was picking out black out of places I didn't know I had. Thank God I didn't go full body, but phew. I mean, I was thinking like if I knew I didn't have to work, I would have done my hands as well, but I decided against it just because of where I work and what I'm doing, and like my hands would get so freaking sweaty that it would just like it would just rub off. So I was like, well, that's not going to happen. Um yeah, that took me a while. That took me a while to actually stencil that onto my face. And then even throughout the day, I was using like baby powder just to like reseal it because it was just it, like it's like liquid face paint, right? And then it's like even if I was under a light or if I was working, and it was just like the most bizarre thing seeing a skeleton mop floors. It was hilarious. But it's just like, this is fun. But then I had to remind myself, I'm like, don't touch your face. Whatever you do, don't touch your face. And then it was like I'd have to go to the washroom every once in a while with baby powder and just dab because it was like it started to run. And then when you're wearing glasses the whole entire time, I took them off and then it was just like that one little imprint mark of where my glasses were sitting on my face. And I'm like, well, nobody's going to see that unless if I actually take them off. So, but I was also thinking, I'm like, I probably should have like stenciled the like kind of the inside of my prescription first, and then I might have like covered it around that. But I wasn't thinking at the time when I did it. So, like I'm not a makeup artist by any way, shape, or form. Um, I was just happy with how it turned out because I got there at like 6:30 in the morning and I'm stenciling stuff onto my face. So that was just kind of the thing. It was like it was a long day, but a fun day nonetheless. So I mean, like Halloween has always been my fun. Like even last night, I curled up and I watched It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, because I had like almost every year that's been a yearly occurrence for me. It's just like um I watch some of the classics if I can, like, Hocus Pocus, if it's available to me, I will watch that. Um, Disney's House of Mouse Villains, because that's just the best. Um, I'll even go through Fantasia and watch Night on Bald Mountain just because. But I can't watch it the same anymore because of what Voice Play's done with it. So it makes me laugh. But yeah. So, and I would say, when did I stop going trick or treating when it came to Halloween? When was like the last time I stopped going trick or treating? God. I had to be maybe about 16, 17. Um, yeah, probably about that because like a friend of mine that I don't talk to anymore, unfortunately. Um, we had gone out on like a very brisk October night, and we went around the neighborhood and we just went and got freaking candy. I was a knight and she was a pirate, I think. I think she went as a pirate. And yeah, that was fun, but we're in an outfit that your legs are basically exposed and it's cold. Um your skin is going to freeze pretty quickly. So it's like I did not want to do that, obviously, but at the same time, I did it. I enjoyed it. It was fun, and yeah. And I don't know why I wanted to do this chat so early. I guess it was just because I wanted to like one and done, get it done. And because like I still have other stuff that I have to tend to today. So, and there's only so much time in a day. Um, YouTube stuff is happening. There was a project that I had been sidetracked on. There's one that is going to be coming at some point. I'm probably not going to get it done by the end of October, unfortunately, but mainly just because um, uh, I mean, with a lot of just procrastination and just with how I've been feeling lately, it's like I haven't had much motivation to do anything. So there's that. That's my excuse. I have been working on it, but it's just also been it hasn't been top priority. So I've had to kind of put that at the forefront, but then I've also kind of had to put it on the back burner at the same time. Because the other project that I had going, that's done, and I'm going to be putting that out to specific group um, on a certain date. I'll just say that because I'm not gonna. I'm only gonna keep this to like the small group. I'm not gonna invite a lot of people. And yes, Hurricane Milton came and left, and a lot of people were affected by it. Very dangerous, really, very dangerous. Um, but yeah, that's a thing. And let me see here. What else? What else has been happening? I mean, I would say that there's a lot that has been happening, but it's just been work, YouTube, and then I kind of have not made much change for anything else because I've just been going through. I've been going through life. Life has been giving me a hand in things, and I've just been drinking coffee and hoping for the best. Um, yeah, I've been having slight turnover at work. Oh, who are these little guys you're wondering about? Okay, so here's Victor. He's a vampire. Over there in the corner is Zombie. And then over in this corner is Luna. She's a bat. So, yeah, she's really cute. Um uh, they all have their own personality and they're what they're called palm pals. So, if you want a new addiction and you like stuffed animals, go to palmpals.com and just look them up and start ordering because they're adorable. I almost was thinking of getting the pumpkin, but then I realized I'm like I spent a fair bit of money this month, so I'm gonna take it easy. The last thing that I bought was off of Amazon, and it was a longer um, laptop tray because the one I currently have, it's too small and it has a phone holder, so then it's like I can have my phone like stand up and like I can read it if I want to, but I didn't necessarily need that. But I also have an external keyboard and a mouse that I use for when I'm working on YouTube stuff, and I just figured I was like, well, I'm gonna get something that's a little bit larger and it has like a mouse pad on it, so then it's like I can just put the mouse pad there and the keyboard there. And I initially thought that it was going to be long enough to have my laptop on it as well as the keyboard, but I misjudged. So I was like, okay, well, this is fine because as long as it's something that, if I have to work in bed, I can work in bed. Or if I'm just working on my floor, which I usually do, I'll just work on my floor. So there's that. Um, yeah. And let me think. What like I'm just trying to think of like stuff to say here because like they're like nobody can ask me questions because nobody's here, and that makes it very difficult for me because when people are not around, I am not being asked anything. So it's like I have to go off the cuff and then just talk to a camera for an hour straight. um yeah. Let me see. I'm like trying to think of like Halloween stuff. Favorite Halloween movie? Um, yeah, like I would probably my favorite Halloween movie, one that I can watch over and over and not worry about so much would be Hocus Pocus. That one's a good one. That and Halloween Town. If I manage to watch Halloween Town, it's those are fun ones. Those are cute. And there's a special that used to be on CBS for like the longest time, or ABC, pardon me. It was called Winnie the Pooh, or Boo to You Too, Winnie the Pooh, I think is what it was, and it was their Halloween special, and it was narrated by John Rhys Davis, and I was like, I love this so much. Like that was like a comfort video for me. That was comfort. It it made it very just comforting for me. It was a comfort thing, and I enjoyed it. And I think throughout the years of like, and I have watched a couple horror movies here and there, but it's mainly just because um like I'm not big on horror. I'm not big on it, so I don't watch them all the time. So it's just that's just how it is. So let me go into voice play here real quick. So their latest releases have been Be Prepared and Thriller and um uh right, Jeff just released a couple of his shorts, and I love the fact that the algorithm is sending him, you should do shorter related videos to appease the algorithm. But the thing is that when he uploads them, they can be for like a certain duration of time, and then it gets cut off because of the YouTube short limit. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I watched him yesterday and I was like, wait, I was like, am I the one going crazy here? Or is it because um or just is it because of the way that it's set up is how it happened? And I rewatched it and I'm like, oh no, it cuts off like right in the center. And I'm like, I mean, I appreciate what he's trying to do, and I mean, you probably should join Patreon if you want the full, um, like if you want the full experience. But I was like, no, because it cuts off, and there's so much more to it than just that small like 60-second to a minute length, or unless I don't really know how it works because I don't upload shorts ever. So I don't know if things have changed to where you can pick the duration or if it's an automated thing. But I was so upset. I was like, "Oh no." Like I was like, "Jeff, you're probably better off like uploading it as a full thing." But I also remember him saying that it was like the algorithm is like, "You will reach a broader audience with shorter related content." And I'm like, "Well, it would work. Theoretically it would work, but you got to work on the duration of things." But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that was just me. I don't know if I might have clicked on something wrong, but I think they do cut out. So, but yes, Loch Ness Monster, Thurl Ravenscroft, just je ne sais quoi. I don't even know if that works there. Um, and Friends on the Other Side, which I was surprised about because I was like, because he had already done it with voice play, but I didn't expect him to do it himself. But that was fun because I was just like, oh man, this is great. This is terrific. So yeah, so it was good. And Thriller, oh my lord, oh lord, I mean that's overused now, but yeah, Thriller is fantastic. Um, I mean, that might be a future podcast episode at some point, but I cannot express how amazing that video is. Um, it's just the makeup, Rick Underwood. Dang, buddy, you did fantastic. He did so good with it. It was just unbelievable knowing just that it was his idea and that he got to have fun with it and make them into zombies. And Mr. J Nunn's in it. And speaking of Jay, he put out a video not too long ago called TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, and you can learn how to do the dance. And it's fun. It's really fun, and yeah, I mean, I would say, go check that one out. It's a good one, and, like, every time Friday comes along, that is, like, the theme in my head now. It's like every time it's Friday, I'm like, "TGIF, thank God it's Friday," because 'cause I'm I mean, last week, it was just oh god, it's just it was a week. It was a hell of a week, and I think I was, like, one meltdown away from going to an insane asylum. Because it was just way too much. Working in healthcare, you guys, my god, just don't do it. Like, seriously, don't do it. Um, I mean, anyway, uh, yeah, let me see, because like, I talked about Halloween. What's my favorite Halloween candy? I do like candy corn. I will say that. I love candy corn. Um, but I think, like, my favorite one that I have gotten throughout the years has always been they're called Fireballs. And they're like probably about this maybe that big, and they're kind of like similar to a gumball, but they're not an actual gumball. They are just filled with cinnamon, and I'm a sucker for cinnamon. I love cinnamon. Like, I will just ruin my mouth with cinnamon related stuff because it's just so good for me. Like, it has always been a spice that I have always enjoyed. um But yeah, like, fireballs was always the way because it was like if you got like 3 of them in one night, you were doing great. And there were a couple of houses on the street where you'd go and they'd give you out cans of pop or cans of whatever, and you would just be like so happy to get those because it was just like this is the best house ever. So that was always fun. Um and let me think. Yeah, like we have changed up the game. We become the house that gives out the big candy bars. But the thing is that we've been trying to cut down on what we purchase for candy because kids are getting lesser and lesser. And I don't know if it's because of where I'm located or because just there's not a lot of people that have small kids anymore out where I live. Like, most of them, like, even when I was growing up, they're like my age or older, or they're in their teens now or their toddler years, so it's like you don't see a lot of them anymore. I think we only had like 10 kids last year, so it's like, do we go with a surplus of candy, do we not, like, it's just been it's been difficult to do that. And yes, I've already been visited by almost every religious group under the sun, and it's just like, can you not, like, it's Halloween, like, for God's sake, it's like, just don't do it. I mean, that's funny that I say God in the context of that. Um, keep checking my phone for notifications just in case if everything's working. But oh yeah, and yesterday I was having a hell of a time with my Wi-Fi. It was like anything that I watched or anything that I checked out, it was just um like it would just quit at automatic times, and then I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like, seriously. So yeah, and I am like super sad. I've been super sad this month because finding out about Ken Page passing away, oh man, that was heartbreaking for me. I was at work and I read the headline that said that he had passed away, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, there's just no way. Like, how in the hell Does James Earl Jones and Ken Page die within a month? Not even that. It wasn't even a month between the two of them, but it's like, oh man, the voices of my childhood are dying, guys. It sucks. It really sucks. But yeah, life goes on, unfortunately, as it does. It goes on. Um yeah, I'm trying to think spooky things. What would be like on my spooky playlist if I had one? Spooky scary skeletons. Just like any sort of horror movie theme, because most horror movie themes are just fantastic. Um, Favorite movie that scares me to this day is Psycho. Believe it or not, you take away the age of that movie, it's still terrifying. That and The Birds. Oh my god, because it's so like ominous. Like Hitchcock knew what he was doing back in the day. He knew how to scare people. Um, yeah, Princess and the Frog. I mean, I know that it's not like a Halloween movie, but just Dr. Facilier, he's he's just the best. I love him so much. Um, yeah, they're like, and I would say for like Nightmare Before Christmas is always a thing, and that like was one of the things I was planning to do. Was that it was like I wanted to get people together and then have like a watch party of Nightmare Before Christmas just one night, but it didn't happen because it's Halloween week and people are getting ready, and like for people that have bigger houses and go all out, it takes time and it takes a lot of prep. So that's just the thing, and I understand that, but like for us, we have just a small little thing. um yeah, we have a tombstone in our front yard, and then we have like light up bones in front of it. It just, look at that. That just like, that's like so spooky, right? It's just like, la, 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 la. That would just be awesome if I had like dry ice and then just like smoke, but I don't. Yikes, you started. Yes, I did. I started like 5 minutes early because I said it was 9 o'clock. It was 9 o'clock. Um, but anyway, let me see. Yeah, what the? I did not say 10. Did I say 10? I swear to God, if I said 10, that. What? Hold up. Where did I say? Was it was it in the story? Was it in the post? What the hell was it? Well, I'll be damned. Hold on. Did I say 10? Oh my God. I'm sorry about that. Jesus Christ. Uh well, on the post it says 9. I guess I must have said 10 originally. I apologize. That was my fault. um yeah, me no, and then it was like I had to like translate everything for like Central Daylight Time and then Eastern Daylight Time, and it's like bleh, bleh. It sucks when you don't change time, because it's like you have to know everybody else's time frame. Anyway, I mean, either way, I sent out the link to people and they can come if they have the time. They can have like, I mean, I could go till 10, or I could, go past that, but I don't know. But what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, just the setup that we have at our house. We just have like this tiny little um pumpkin tower, and it's like 90. I wouldn't say 90 years old. That doesn't sound right. It's probably about 40 at least. Because I remember we had this thing when I was a kid. So, and I'm 30 now, so do the math on that. It's probably 40. But then we have like a light up skull that we put in the window. And then we have a purple willow tree that's kind of just like it hangs in the window and then it just kind of hangs down in front of everything, and it's like it's nice. It's super nice. And like we don't like we used to have a projector that used to project Halloween stuff. Like we had one that was for like every holiday. Like you'd have like Thanksgiving, Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day. But we left it out one day in minus 40-degree weather and the entire thing was shot. Because I guess on the box it said it would only be able to survive in minus 30. So it was like, oh, oops. So yeah, that was basically it for that. And then of course like the some of the projections, just some of the slides were getting a little faded. So we were just like, well, we're going to stop using that because setting it up and then also of where we parked the car would just be like right in front of it and we wouldn't be able to see it. So, and if we parked anywhere else, it would be in front of the rest of the decorations. So then it was like, well, crap. So, Eileen, since you're here, are you seeing my friends on the other side? Right there, and right there. And then, of course, that guy in the corner. And thank goodness that you're on your last antibiotic. That's great. 4 animatronics and maybe three, maybe 4 projections. That's awesome. You'll have to send me pictures if you're capable, if you're able. Yeah, because yeah, I just love your setup. Like the first time when you sent me pictures about your setup, I was like, that's perfect. Yeah. So I talked about spooky things. I talked about movies. I talked about music. I talked about voice play. Is there anything else that I can talk about that's like Halloween related? Really? Like, I don't know. I mean, I've like, and I also talked about like how long I've gone trick or treating for, what my favorite candy was, and I missed it all. Well, you can go back and rewatch if you want. It's up to you. It's okay. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna be dressing. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. I do have a Halloween scrub top that I could put on. I might just go with that because I don't know if I can do anything outlandish this year. Like I was kind of talking about doing zombie makeup, but I figured that was too much because like I went as Jack last year. So it's like I don't know. Like I don't know if I want to do the same thing or just kind of like the like something around the same um ballpark. But yeah, it but I have a vampire costume that I could put on. So I mean it's not for male, it's for female. I was so tempted to buy a puffy shirt though. I was so tempted. Ah, I should have done it. But anyway, um, for next year, next year, maybe I'll go as female vampire this year, and then maybe go as male next year. I don't know. But yeah, it's just like everything has been at the last minute. Like this chat has been the last minute. YouTube videos have been last minute. Um, Other videos that I've been doing have been last minute. It's just been last minute, last minute, last minute, last minute. And it's just like, oh God, because it's unisex. Yeah, exactly. There we go. And but I don't have the teeth. I don't have teeth. So that's also the thing. I don't have teeth. I have teeth, but I don't have fangs. And I don't have canines either. So even if I was to go like, you can't see. There's nothing. I don't have canines. And the reason for that, for anybody who may be wondering, it's because oh, um, It's because I had to get my wisdom teeth removed and also 4 other teeth with that. So I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and then I also got, I think it was my canines. Well, one of my canines. I think it was one of my canines, and then a couple others because there wasn't enough room for all of the teeth. So they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to take out a couple of your teeth," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever you want to do." But now I have this wonderful smile. My teeth looked awful. Like, and I've said this before probably, but it was like looking into the mouth of a piranha. Just teeth everywhere. There's teeth in my gum lines, teeth in my just everywhere. So it was awful. um, yeah. If I had to choose what is my favorite Halloween monster, I mean, Dracula's always fun, but Frankie is also good too. Frankie is great. I do like me some Frankenstein. So everybody's liking my story, but it's like I don't think that people are actually clicking on the link and getting their butts here. So either way, it's spooky. I feel actually like, well, of course, like werewolves are cute too. Like, I mean, okay, I'm gonna just say all of them are great. I mean, like you got Boris Karloff and you got Bela Lugosi and you got Lane Chaney. Like, you know, like you got all of them, and it's just like it's terrific. Love love your silliness. Oh, that's sweet, Linda. Thank you. Yeah, I would have to. Yeah, like just all of the classic monsters are my favorite, and like I I wouldn't say recently that I watched this, but I did watch Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I'm like, I can see why people were scared of that back in the day because it's like, yikes. Then what other movie did I watch that it was like I thought I would enjoy it, but then I was just kind of ended up and I'm just like, "Oh my god." I can't remember. I think it was like something like it's something something of the third kind. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, Invisible Man. Yeah, cuz it's just like what's so scary about an invisible man? Um Okay, so Amanda will be doing something during the day, but nighttime is free. Okay, good. Because I'm going to be doing it at 7 ish, whatever. Yes, that's the one, I think. I think I watched that, or it was Mars Attacks, or something like that, and it was just like ridiculous. Then I went back and I watched, um, oh, it was like a super old, um, just a super old movie, and it had dogs dressed up as like huge rats. And it was just like the worst thing that I had ever watched. And I'm like, how? I was like, how is I'm just like, how do people watch this and not like burst out laughing at a bunch of dogs dressed up as huge rats? And it's like it's clearly visible, but it's like I don't know. Back in the day, you did. It was different back in the day. You know, it was different back in the 1930s, 1940s. What's so scary about the Invisible Man is Claude Rains' unhinged performance. Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't watched Invisible Man all the way through, so I haven't really watched a lot of it. And then there's like other things that I get served on Instagram that it's um, like there's a clip from I can't even remember the name of the movie, but it's there's just something to do with like a skeleton that's walking towards her, and she's like screaming her head off because it's like It's not every day that you would just see a skeleton just start like walking towards you. And like again, practical effects in the 1930s, like it's crazy to me knowing that it's like that was what horror was. Like that was like the baby steps of what horror is. And I'm sorry that possible could be House on Haunted Hill. And just going back and seeing that like there's so much CGI in horror movies now that it's just become boring. Like I'd rather have practical scares out than um uh, CGI enhanced, because it's just like then you just know that it's coming. Um and that's very unfortunate, I would say. Uh but yeah, like there has been so many that I have seen, and it's just like I can see why this would be scary. Salem's Lot? Oh man. Nosferatu? Oof. God. But if we're talking about ones that have scared the absolute crap out of me when I was a kid, Cujo. Cujo. And the only specific moment that actually scared the crap out of me and made me run into my bathroom and lock myself in a bathroom and cry was when like he goes for the attack, like the mom and the kid. The kid is in the back of the car and he's like screaming his head off. And it's when Cujo goes and bites the mom on the leg and the mom screams out in pain. That was when I was like, "Nuh-uh." I was like, "Nope." And I just like removed myself from the movie. I put it on pause because it was VHS. Remember VHS tapes? Oh yeah, those were fun. And back when I had recorded it on my TV for some reason, because I felt like I wanted to watch it. And yeah, like the kid's screaming, the mom is screaming, the dog is on the attack. I wasn't so much scared of the dog, I was scared of the screaming. The screaming is what got me. And then I locked myself in the bathroom and I'm like, I'm never watching this again. I'm never doing it. But I did end up watching it afterwards. And then I was like, why was I scared of this? Like, why? um, Carrie was a good one too. Brian De Palma. Oh my god, he did great with Carrie. Um, like Carrie didn't scare me as much because it's not necessarily supposed to be like a scary movie. It's more of like kind of like a suspense. But the only part that got me was when it's like right at the very end and it's like you just hear the angelic music that's playing, and Carrie's dead, she burned down, like the house burned down, she's dead. And then it's like Sue, who was her, like the person who survived the whole ordeal after the prom. um she has like this hallucination or like this nightmare, and it's like she's walking towards the house, and then as she puts the flowers down, Carrie's hand comes up from out of the grave and grabs her. And it wasn't even the grab that got me, it was the music, because the whole entire, it went from like nice, calm, ambiotic, just easy flowing, kind of sorrowful, and then it's just like instantly almost to Jaws. And like you got the angry strings, I call them. And I like, and then of course she starts screaming because she's like, oh my god, like this is holding on to me, like she's holding on to me, she wants to pull me down into the grave. And I'm like, oh my god, like I'm like, I was not expecting that. That was a jump scare. I think that was like my first jump scare movie. That was like the first one that like really got me, that I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to watch this. So it's like I don't watch horror movies as much anymore, unless if it's ones that I know what happens. But oh, sometimes they come back was creepy too. That one was creepy. Oh, there was Creep Show. I watched Creep Show when it was a thing. Um, yeah, Salem's Lot, Quicksilver. I couldn't really get into Quicksilver. That one was just weird. There's a whole bunch of hands crawling all over the place, like removed hands. Yeah. Um, Children of the Corn. Oh my god. Children of the Corn. Ugh. Made me believe in freaking cults, and it just terrified me so much. You gotta check out George Miller's groundbreaking silent horror film. I will put that in the search. I'll be doing something like this. Let's see. What are you doing? Ooh, sweet. Nice. I like it. Um, yeah, Children of the Corn is creepy. Like, and it's funny. Like, um, it just kind of it said a lot about my mom because she was the horror watcher in our family, and she had a whole bunch of horror movies that she had saved for years, and she'd watch them like all the time. And then eventually we gave them away because it was like, we don't need them. This is giving us like really bad vibes. It's like we just don't need it anymore. Cults are terrifying. And like going back to Children of the Corn here, like it was very based on cult based um like fiction, but it was also just like done in a way that it was just like, okay, if you did get a bunch of kids together, and if they were able to rise up against all adults because of that, in order to be like for like in like God's good graces or whatever, it's just like, ugh, like no thanks. So that it did not make me want to go to Nebraska anytime soon. Mm-mm. Do I consider slasher movies as horror movies? I would say yes. I mean, but also slasher is a thing on its own. Like I think it falls under its own category, because like horror is more like, you know, don't go down the stairs at night with no lights on in a haunted house type of thing. Cause like it's like you don't know what's gonna be down there. And I'm only saying that because I watched Winchester. Helen Mirren, oh my god, she is just incredible. And yeah, and like I think the horror genre is a little bit different of like what falls underneath it. Cuz like I don't consider suspense movies horror. Like I consider it as suspense. Like if it's horror to where it's like maybe it's like a supernatural thing or a paranormal thing, supernatural thing. Um like I would say Exorcist would be considered horror. But like Freddy versus or like well like Friday the 13th and like Nightmare on Elm Street, um I would like I don't know about Nightmare on Elm Street, because yes, he kills people, but it's also like nightmare. So is it considered horror or is it considered slasher? I'm not entirely sure. Um but yeah, like slasher, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, totally slasher. Like it just Yeesh. But I also see like how it could fall like it could fall under horror as well. Like I think slashers do have the capacity to be under a horror, but also at the same time it's like, nah, like I don't think so. Um but yeah, it's hard to say. I don't watch a lot of slasher movies, just mainly because it's like there's just it's too much blood and guts for me. It's just way too much. And like kind of going off of like slasher here. I mean, this one isn't slasher, but it's like first time I watched Saving Private Ryan, like that's They could be horrifying, but I don't consider them part of the horror genre. Yeah, like they fall under their own category, I think. And like I guess it just like they just come incorporated into one because it's like, well, are we focusing more on the slasher or are we focusing more on the horror or are we, whatever. Um Pet Cemetery scared me. Not the new one. Good lord, not the new one. The original terrified me. That kid scared me so freaking much. Gabe scared me to hell and back. Like it was just like, oh god. Um The Shining. Yep, The Shining scared me. Um yeah, just the kid trying to warn his mom saying red rum, and he's holding a knife and he's saying it and it's like that's not creepy much. Like that's bleh. But Jack Nicholson did a terrific job. Oh my god. And a fun fact about that was that they actually had to use a heavier set board, um, or like not a heavier set board, a heavier set door for when he does the whole "Here's Johnny" thing because he worked as a volunteer firefighter, and he broke the door down within like 2 swings. And like, but it was like a lighter paneled board, so then it snapped a lot easier. But they weren't expecting him to actually like break through the first door. So it was just like, oh, we're gonna have to get a heavier door because this dude is like he's hitting it hard. So, but that's kind of that's interesting for Jack Nicholson, definitely. Um I watched it, scared me so much. Scared me. Terrifying. Tim Curry, terrific. Um, and another fun fact: Tim Curry couldn't look at himself in the makeup because he doesn't like clowns, and yet he played probably one of the best ones in the horror genre on TV. So good on him. I mean, he was a good sport to do it. Like it's just I don't know how you'd be able to do that because it's like how do you sit there and then just like not look at yourself because you're terrified. I'm looking forward to watching Doug Jones's new Nosferatu, not the major film coming out soon. Yeah, Nosferatu. I love it so much. Oh, what? There was another one that came out a couple. I think it was a couple years ago by this point, and it was like it had something to do with a vampire on a ship. I can't remember what it was for me. I think it was like The Last Dementor or something. I it was something along those lines, but I was just like, this trailer looks absolutely like amazing, and I was like I don't watch a lot of movies now anymore because I just don't go out, I don't go anywhere, and I don't really use a streaming service. The Last Voyage of the Dementor, that's the one. Yes, thank you, Eileen, for being my research protege here. I love it. Totally dislike the whole evil clown trope. Yeah, it's but people on TikTok just went crazy for it because it was like um, just scary clowns going door to door and doing shit, and that's just awful. Yeah. Dementor is the ship Dracula takes to London. Yes, it's interesting because like I kind of thought that you were gonna tell me about that, but the fun thing is that I just got served an ambiance video where it was like you're on Dracula's ship, the Dementor, and I'm like, ah, Demeter. Oh, Demeter. Oh my god, why was I saying Dementor? Like I'm saying Dementor as in like the god. I can't read. My God. Maybe I have to get my prescription fixed. Like, because it's like right in front of me. And I'm like, oh God. Haven't had enough coffee. Actually, no, this is my second cup of coffee already. It's not working. I got up at 5:30 this morning. Don't know why. Don't ask me why. Couldn't go back to sleep. So then I was like, you hear that? I just hit the handle on the table. So yeah, it yeah, it was pretty hilarious just just to say that. So I'm like, well, Dementor doesn't sound right. Why am I saying it as Dementor? Yeah, pronouncing words and them coming out one thing is not working. But okay, well, I've been here for an hour already. Do I continue going on? Because I don't know. Like, who the hell do I have as participants here? Let me see. I think it's just. Oh, no, 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 no. No. Do not want to do that. Thinking of the Dementors, and then I was also thinking of Greek gods. So it's just funny. Yeah, it's just the two of us here. Dementors, Harry Potter. Good freaking lord. And like that's another series. That's another bunch of movies that I never watched. Well, I got up to Order of the Phoenix and then I stopped. Cause I was like, I like it, but I'm just not huge into the Harry Potter world as I thought I would be, unfortunately. But yes, that. Oh man, is there anything else that I can talk about? What else have I not said? Okay, that's where I'm getting confused. Okay. Demeter? Is it Demeter? Well, then why was I? Because I was reading it as Demeter. English is hard. English is stupid. I don't like English. Me no likey. It's very confusing, and my brain can't handle it. Pardon me as I stretch. Oh, and by the way, there are few. Yeah, I was like, I had to like readjust this table like crazy a couple times because it was either like too high because it was like up here or it was like down by my legs. And I'm like, this just isn't working. So, and I wanted to like get everything in frame with the lights and everything. Like I wanted just to get everything done. And lighting is always an issue, right? So it's like, yeah. And then I get to fold my laundry after this. That's fun. I should probably maybe think of getting something to eat. I haven't eaten yet. I've only drank coffee. But I have had water. I have had water. I drank almost all of this today. Oh, yay. Yes. And then it's back to work on Monday. Ugh. Go eat. Yes, but I don't know what to eat. I do have a bagel. I can make myself a bagel. I have one bagel left. I'm going to go do that. So, anyway, thanks for showing up. There was only two of us here today. I was talking to absolutely nobody for the first like 20 minutes, almost 30 minutes of this whole thing, but that's fine. So, scrambled egg sandwich. I did that yesterday. I fried up a couple eggs and oh my god. Okay. So, here's what not to do when it comes to cooking eggs, okay? Um, so I had read somewhere that it was like you can use cream cheese to make your eggs fluffier. So I was using block cream cheese because it but like I also thought that it was going to melt a lot easier than like the spreadable stuff. And then I was like, okay, I was like, I'll do this. And then it was like um but then it was like, so then I was like, I'm frying my eggs, and I'm like, this is not melting. So it's like, I don't want to use butter. So I was like burning the cream cheese. And then by the time I was done with the eggs, they were like stuck to the pan. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, maybe next time, just using a little bit of water or using a little bit of, of just butter will help out a fair bit with that because it was just like, yeah, because it was a mess afterwards. I mean, it still tasted delicious, but it was just like trying to flip my egg to get it fried on the other side was a nightmare. So it was just like, oh my god, it's like next time use butter, damn it. Or just like margarine. We use margarine. So it's like margarine, however you want to say it. But tomato. Sorry, your story said 10, so I was focused on that. Where in the hell did I say it was 10? Was it in the actual post or did I say it in the story itself? Because if so, I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. No, in the story it says 9 a.m. And then also on the post it says 9 a.m. Well, 9 a.m. Central Time. But I guess maybe that was because it. I don't know. I don't. And like that's why I only stick with one specific time because if I do the other ones, then it just gets confusing for everybody else, and then people just the things like this happen, and then it's like I get confused. Like I get confused, and for that reason, I kind of get um like I get confused when I live in a place that doesn't change time because then it's like I'm trying to figure out um like and then I try to figure out the time frames and it's just like I can't. Somewhere it said 10 and I put it in my calendar. I think maybe the tentative point was 10 and then I must have somewhere along the line it got conscrewed. But anyway, we did it. We're here. Um and so yeah. So I'm going to go and fold my laundry, probably go number 1, burp on camera. There we go. Oh, do I have another one? What's going on? Let's change back to standard time next weekend. So then that means you're going to be what? Like, see, I don't know. It's like it takes me like up to like this long just to figure it out. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you figured it out? Psych, we're going back. And it's like, ugh, it's just confused me. Be an hour apart instead of 2 hours. Okay, so then that will apply for the guys as well. Because right now they're 2 hours ahead of me, or 2 hours behind. Yeah. Because it would be about noon there right now. So then it'll be 11 as opposed to. You know, it's just my brain turns into meat spray when it comes to this. So, yes. So that is it. I apologize for the confusion. Um, and I'm gonna try to be better. That's gonna be my New Year's resolution for next year. Is I'm gonna be better with this. I'm gonna be better with scheduling. Gonna try my damnedest. So I wish you guys all a happy Halloween. Be safe out there. Hugs, cuddles, hearts, all the things. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. And I will catch you guys on the replay. Maybe. We'll see. And wahahaha. Spooky scary. Ooh, spooky. Bye. End.